but some seniors have a bone to pick with capacity limits for an outdoor ceremony. Those stories and more happening now on New York One, live at 10. Hey, thanks for being here with us on this busy Tuesday night. I'm Cheryl Wills. We join you with breaking news. Police have a suspect in custody right now in connection with that shooting death of a 10-year-old boy in the Rockaways. Today's news comes on what would have been Justin Wallace's 11th birthday. He didn't live to see the balloons and teddy bears because he was shot dead over the weekend. His fellow fifth graders in the Rockaways should be in celebration mode. Instead, they are grieving the death of their classmate. Tonight, a devastated community breathing a sigh of relief with word of an arrest. And for that, we go right to Angie Gonzalez. She's leading us off tonight. She's live in the Rockaways outside the 101 Precinct Station House. Angie.
Yeah, that's right, Cheryl. We're actually waiting outside the 101 police precinct where authorities have brought the man that they have arrested and charged in the case, 29-year-old Jovan Young. We are waiting for him to be brought out to the police vehicle that is awaiting to take him in for booking. Now, police announced his arrest just a short time ago this evening, saying that he was arrested and charged with murder, attempted murder, and 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. Now, we don't know much about Young. An NYPD source tells us that he has 6 prior arrests, but could not elaborate further at this time. Authorities say that his last known address is in Auburn and less than a mile from the crime scene on Beach 45th Street. Now, authorities have not yet said what exactly led them to Young, but earlier this week, a source did tell New York One that they were investigating the possibility the shooting may have stemmed from a long-standing parking dispute with the owner of the home where the shooting took place. And Wallace was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Cheryl, we're being told that Jovan Young is about to be walked out of the 101 police precinct right now. Again, of course, reporters are going to be asking him questions. There he is, being brought out of the 101 police precinct. As you mentioned, a sigh of relief to a lot of people in this community, not saying anything to reporters as he's being put into that car, Cheryl. But again, charged with attempted murder, and criminal possession of a weapon in the death of 10-year-old Justin Wallace, who was killed over the weekend and wounded. His cousin was also wounded in that shooting, a 29-year-old. Again, not saying anything to reporters, but now in custody for this case. Now, Cheryl, community members have built a makeshift memorial at the home where this shooting took place, some bringing balloons, as you mentioned. Wallace was supposed to be celebrating his 11th birthday. The mayor tweeting a short time ago that Justin Wallace should have turned 11 today. He should have spent today celebrating with his friends and family. If you shoot and kill in New York City, you will be caught. You will be arrested. You will be held accountable. And the NYPD commissioner tweeting this a short time ago as well. My thanks to the NYPD detectives and everyone who worked around the clock on this investigation, tirelessly seeking justice for an innocent 10-year-old boy. And Cheryl, we're going to join you a little bit later with more details. But again, another anti-violence group has been, or that's based here in the Rockaways, has actually planned a march, which is supposed to take place tomorrow at 5 p.m., where the shooting took place on Beach 45th Street. Cheryl?
Angie, very quickly, do we know where they apprehended this suspect tonight that we showed live on New York One just moments ago being walked out of the 101 precinct in the Rockaways?
I asked an NYPD source who has been giving me information on this case. He could not elaborate on where he was taken into custody, but we did get his last known address, Cheryl, which we know was less than a mile away from where this shooting happened.
Angie, and lastly, is the community breathing a sigh of relief with word that this suspect is in police custody after shooting randomly and wildly into a private home, which of course he ended up, if he proves to be convicted, this alleged gunman ended up killing this 10-year-old boy.
Now, Cheryl, I think that a lot of people are actually going to be finding out about Mr. Young's arrest right here live with us. We did speak to community members earlier today who are just so disturbed by this case. They were hoping for an arrest, and I'm certain that they are breathing a sigh of relief tonight that the man that they believe to be responsible for the death of this 10-year-old boy is now in custody.
Angie Gonzalez reporting live in the Rockaways tonight with our breaking news. And as gun violence surges across the city, the Fed... Hey, thanks for staying with us at 1:30. We continue to follow breaking news out of the Rockaways tonight. A suspect in custody. You saw it live at the top of the hour in connection with the shooting death of that 10-year-old boy. He was killed over the weekend. Tonight, Angie Gonzalez is live with new information tonight about that suspect. Angie.
Yeah, Cheryl, we know that over the weekend this shooting took place and that the NYPD has been looking for him ever since. Well, apparently 29-year-old Jovan Young, the man now charged in that 10-year-old's murder, apparently had a guilty conscience because we've now learned from authorities here at the 101 precinct that he turned himself in earlier today. Now, again, we're going to go back to that video when he was just brought outside of the precinct here. Again, 29-year-old Jovan Young did not say anything to reporters as he was brought out of the precinct here. Not much known about him. He does have 6 prior arrests, but authorities saying none of that is anything really to, turn your head away out. Well, nothing violent, nothing like that. They also said he is not believed to be a gang member, but they have now charged him with murder, attempted murder, and 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. Authorities telling us that his last known address is in Arvern and less than a mile from the crime scene on Beach 45th Street. Again, authorities not yet said exactly when Young turned himself into authorities. We do know that they were investigating several possibilities. In terms of motive in this case, community members have been upset about this, coming over the last several days to that murder scene to bring balloons for Justin Wallace, who was supposed to be celebrating his 11th birthday today, Cheryl. We do know that the mayor and the NYPD Commissioner Dermot Shea tweeting out in the last hour or so about this arrest. The mayor saying that if you shoot and kill in New York City, you will be caught, you will be arrested, you will be held accountable. And the NYPD thanking NYPD detectives, the commissioner that is, thanking NYPD detectives and everyone who worked around the clock on this investigation, tirelessly seeking justice for an innocent 10-year-old boy. So we've now learned, Cheryl, again, that the 29-year-old suspect, Jovan Young, who does not have an extensive criminal history, turned himself into authorities here at the 101 precinct. We're going to have to keep you updated as to further developments in this case as to when he heads to his first court date. But we do know that tomorrow an anti-violence group is holding a vigil in honor of Wallace. That's going to be held at 5 p.m. at the scene where he was killed. Cheryl.
Excellent reporting by our Angie Gonzalez, reporting live in the Rockaways tonight.